Hello, and welcome to a One Piece episode discussion. Yeah, I didn't think I was going to be doing this, but I just saw the new episode. I've been caught up for a few weeks now. This is like the fourth or so episode that I've watched as it's aired. I was really excited. It's very quickly become the highlight of my week. I would say the same thing for the manga, but the thing is with the manga is it's been, since I've caught up, it's been on more hiatuses than it has actual new chapters. So I'm looking forward to the new chapter too, don't get me wrong. In fact, I've actually heard some minor spoilers about the next chapter, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how that pans out. And yeah, I just want to talk about the episode. Is this going to become a frequent series? Probably not, but I like the idea of talking about each new, or at the very least, the One Piece episodes and chapters that catch my interest. So don't expect frequency, don't expect reliability. I'm just going to be talking about stuff I want to be talking about. So let's go ahead and do so. Although anyone who's been here since I was making, to see my Vanguard content and stuff, they know that already anyway. So, whoop, let's get up the episode screenshots, because this is going to work for anyone who's been watching my Vanguard content. This is going to work the same way that my Vanguard episode reviews have worked, except these are One Piece episode discussions. I'm not necessarily reviewing the episodes, because most of the episode reviews would consist of Toei's animation could leave can leave some to be desired, you know, unless it's like the Megami Ishitani episodes and that kind of thing. But like, don't get me wrong, the animation certainly improved throughout Wano, but like, an average episode is still like, you know, I could do with some more frames of animation here. But whatever, we're not here to talk about that stuff. So let's talk about the episode then. Yeah, let's go ahead and do so. So, I mean, that's the thing. This is just going to be a very quick discussion. I don't think these videos will be as long as the Vanguard Overdressed ones, mainly because we all know the drill by now. One Piece episodes don't tend to have much content in them, you know, we all know this. If you're caught up enough with One Piece to actually watch this video, then you already know what the deal with the One Piece adaptation is, so I'll spare you all that stuff. But basically, to cut things very short, we don't get much content in these episodes, but you know what, that's fine. Like, if you're binge watching, like, Fishman Island or whatever, it's kind of a problem, which is why you find other methods of catching up than just watching the TV anime. You know, but as a weekly, I don't actually mind it. You know, I actually kind of prefer the TV anime from the point of view of it being like a weekly ritual, in case of it, just in the case of it being like a schedule thing of like, oh hell yeah, it's a Sunday, that means new One Piece episode, you know? That's what I like about this anime, is just sitting down once a week and knowing I have new One Piece, and knowing it's pretty consistently there, unlike the manga. Not that I'm complaining the manga isn't consistently here. Anyway, let's get rid of the giant boobs on the screen. That's a consistent theme with this episode. But yeah, this was a good episode. I mean, this isn't a review, so I don't actually have to say how much I liked the episode. This is a discussion, so I can just be discussing stuff. I swear there's a difference. But yeah, so the Battle of Onigashima has started, as we all know, and we spent the last episode, like, see, that's the thing, is I don't think I can do these videos for every episode, because the previous episode specifically had so little to talk about. Like, it was, the Straw Hats and others getting into the Beast Pirate outfits, and that was basically a lot for that episode. Like, that episode felt like a fraction of a manga chapter, which a lot of them are, but like that one more so than a lot of the others. So yeah, which, I mean, it makes sense. It came immediately after an Ishitani episode, so like, you know, you can't really complain. This one had a little bit more moving pieces in it for sure, because this is the beginning of the raid of Onigashima. And yeah, we had some stuff happening. Again, you know, Toei anime episodes, so not like a ton of stuff happening, but like, you know, there was some moving pieces. I really love Chopper, and Chopper is one of my favorite characters, and we got a lot of Chopper here. Like, one of my biggest problems with Chopper is that he doesn't really kind of get much to do in the grand scheme of things, you know? Like, even in the arcs where he's heavily involved, like Whole Cake Island, it still feels like he's the Straw Hat who's pulling the least amount of weight. And, I mean, he's the doctor, so he's always useful, so that's pretty good. But, like, even so, it feels like he's more of a liability. Even though he's, like, one of my favorite characters, so the fact that he's doing stuff is good. And, yeah, he's been pretty useful throughout Wano. This has been the most Chopper has had to do for a One Piece story arc in a while, and he will continue to be given a lot to do because, well, I've read the manga, so I know. So that stuff was pretty good. We had Kid kind of storming into Onigashima and Luffy following him. That stuff's pretty good. We had, like, Law explaining that those two were, like, unreliable. And, like, we had a moment with, like, Jinbei. Well, like, I feel like it just kind of set in for Jinbei. They're like, oh, this is the crew I'm in, huh? Kinda regret joining them. Nah, I'm joking. But, like, yeah, I like that dynamic of, like, I think Jinbei is such a great Straw Hat already because he massively shakes up the dynamic of this group in that he's the one with the brain cell, you know? Like, up until this point, the Straw Hats have collectively had one brain cell that they're allowed to share. Early on, Nami was the one that had it, sometimes Chopper was allowed to borrow it, and then later on, like, Robin became the kind of one who kept the others in check, but now Jinbei has permanently taken and has the brain cell, and it's fun to see, like, an actually smart person who, like, takes themselves seriously and is, like, trying to look after the others while attempt to do so, basically, because all of the Straw Hats are some degree of absolutely crazy. And so having like a new Straw Hat who is trying desperately to stop them from getting themselves killed, it's great. It's like the analogy I think of it's like Jinbei is like a babysitter who's looking after 9 children, and one of them just found a knife, and so they're all just running around with a knife, and Jinbei's like, oh god, what do I do? That's kind of the analogy, and I think that makes it very interesting to kind of see how he's going to react to how the Straw Hats and stuff have been acting. Obviously, throughout previous arcs like Fishman Island and Whole Cake Island, we've been able to see some of that, but now that he's a full-time member, we're going to be getting a lot of that, and I like that. That's good. Speaking of that, too, like, I know the images I'm getting up are, like, out of order. I guess we should probably get up a relevant one. Here we go. It's nice to see Robin and Jinbei, like, gravitate towards each other because they seem like the most level-headed of the group, and so having them talk to each other and be like, hey, let's do this. I think that stuff was really good, and of course that was followed by just fist bump, the visual representation of fist bump. I am so excited for this. I don't even know, like, as a manga reader, I don't even, like, remember how soon it is. But it's really soon, so I'm excited for that. I'm very excited for that. I mean, it's Yamato. We all know it's Yamato. Even the anime watchers know it's Yamato, but it's Yamato. But yeah, no. And then yeah, as I was speaking earlier, we got a lot more like Chopper stuff with him geeking out over Franky's tank again, just like in Fishman Island. We even had a line where Jinbe was like, "Hey, this is just like Fishman Island." So. Good to know they're keeping track of that. I loved that stuff. That stuff was great. We got like a scene of Sanji trying to like fit in the tank, but there were already too many people in it, and Toei gave this, used this excuse to. I mean, as you can see, my brain is already going empty. Yeah, they decided to use this as a chance to fan service us, and by that I'm talking about Chopper, not the other thing in the frame. Cool, thanks Toei, very good of you. And then we had this really hilarious moment where like Franky invites Robin on his like bike, and then Brook ignores it and goes on himself, and Franky's like, hey, that's supposed to be Robin. And then Brook has a line that's like, hey, nothing gay about that, my bro. Something like that. I'm obviously paraphrasing, but I'm not paraphrasing as much as you would expect me to. The line was something similar to that. And I love it. I genuinely think Brook is like the funniest Straw Hat. He's so entertaining. And then yeah, we get back to this moment I was talking about earlier. It's weird, this fucking like shot like composition is so weird to me because it's very clear that like, so Jinbei's tall, right? And so in order to like fit both him and Robin on screen, they had to either choose to fit Jinbei's head in frame or Robin's boobs in frame. And Toei, without thinking, without skipping a beat, were like, we're fitting a boobs in frame instead. And you know what? I can respect it. I can respect it. And then we got some more with, we got like another moment with Ulti. Makes sense because Ulti's fight is coming very soon. So it makes sense we kind of set her up a bit more. Because I will say it's a little weird. It's not a criticism necessarily. Because I think it works with the way they've done it in the manga. But like, I will say it's very interesting that we introduced the Tobi Roppo like immediately before we get their fights. Like in a lot of other arcs like Water 7 and Honey's Lobby will like introduce the villain generals like way before we get their fights, or even just like Dressrosa, right? Like we'll get a feel for these villains way before the point the Straw Hats have to fight them. Whereas with this arc, I guess because this arc just has so many moving pieces, like this is gearing up to be the longest One Piece arc, assuming we're counting all of the acts as one arc. It might already be, I don't even know. It's close. It's either that or Dressrosa, but like by the time this is done, this will be longer than even Dressrosa was. And so because it's already got like so many moving pieces with like the Kozuki clan and all that other stuff, they just didn't really have time. And again, like I said, I don't think it's a problem. It just means the Tobi Roppo aren't exactly like as fleshed out or developed as some of the other villain factions. But it's okay, we've already got a lot of villains that we already really care about, like Kaido and Big Mom and the others. So I don't necessarily think we needed to like give all the Tobi Roppo like backstories and stuff like that. But I do think it's very interesting that we get that introduction like immediately before we get their fights. Again, not a complaint. I like that they're mixing things up actually, and I can understand why it's done. It's just something I wanted to point out. And then we got Zoro's Haki. Not his armament Haki, no, his Conqueror's Haki, and that was pretty sick. Now, as a manga reader, I actually already knew about this, but for something the anime onlys might not realize is that we don't really get this moment in the manga. Or at the very least, if we do get this moment in the manga, it's a lot more subtle. We don't get confirmation of his Conqueror's Haki until quite a bit later on in the manga. So, it's not exactly like it's, you know, like... It's weird that it's introduced earlier in the anime, but I can understand why they want to like foreshadow it some more maybe, because it's revealed in a pretty important fight in the manga. And so it could feel like maybe a bit of an ass pull. I don't think it was, because when he used it, I was like, oh, of course, it makes sense that Zoro can use it. In fact, I've seen like a couple of like conflicting opinions where it's like Zoro's just too overpowered now, they're giving him like everything. But I don't think so. I think it makes a lot of sense that he has Conqueror's Haki. Yeah, I think it's okay. Like, remember, Zoro was part of the worst generation along with Luffy. Like, it wasn't just Luffy that was part of that group. It was also Zoro. And so, I feel like Zoro was always kind of destined to get Conqueror's Haki at some point. So, I don't know. It doesn't feel too out of place for me. I'm okay with it. Like, you can have your arguments about as to whether or not Zoro's, like, overpowered by this point. But, like, I mean, he has earned it. If anything, we've kind of seen his struggle to get to this point, you know. He certainly wasn't always this powerful. I'm okay with it, basically. I think it was a really cool moment. And then, yeah, we ended the episode with Luffy. And it was a pretty goat moment. So, once again, obviously, this moment was in the manga. But I know a lot of people are going to complain about the, like, extended, very long, like, flashback showing us stuff we've already seen. Obviously, that's always one of my pet peeves when an anime just shows us something we've already recently seen. And we, of course, get an extended, like, flashback showing us a bunch of scenes of Otama that we already saw. And, of course, if I was binge watching, I'd probably just skip that flashback and get to the point. But that's the thing, you don't binge watch this, you watch it week to week, and on a week to week basis, I think this flashback was fine. In fact, I thought it was very emotional, you know? Like, having Otama struggle with, like, not being able to feed herself, but then having the guards at Onigashima just, like, ruining food for the sake of it, just because they have too much. I thought that stuff was really great, and you know it's always a hype moment when Luffy genuinely actually gets mad. That's the moment, like, that's the oh shit moment where, like, an arc really swings into full gear, and that's what we just got here, signaling that we're about to get our first few fights this arc. Well, I say first few, we've obviously had a lot of fights, but I mean this is like the fight section where, like, all the generals start coming out and the Straw Hats kind of divvy up against the general. You know how this works, you've seen One Piece before. But this is kind of the moment sort of signaling that that's about to happen. And it's great. It's great stuff. Again, the fights themselves are really good in the manga. Not giving anything away just in case. Not that anyone watches this channel yet, but you know, want to be careful just in case. So yeah, that was episode 984, if I'm correct. It's so many episodes I don't even remember. Is the thing. But yeah, no, really, really great stuff, honestly. Like, that's the thing is, you know, an average One Piece episode is never going to have, like, a full anime episode's worth of content in it. We know that by now. And some episodes are going to have more content than others. But I think this episode really worked, you know. I think Toei did a really good job of adapting this chapter or so of manga that they had. I think Wano, specifically, has gotten a lot better than the other arcs at, like, padding out the episodes. I remember arcs like Thriller Bark, for example, would just fill episodes to the brim with pointless establishing shots where it would just cut to scenery for no reason other than to pad out the episode. So at the very least, when Wano pads out the episodes, it's padding it out with something, even if it's flashbacks we've already seen and that kind of thing. But, like, I'll admit, even like every once in a while they'll throw in new stuff, you know, like new scenes or even just extended scenes in ways where it does feel like we're still getting content. It doesn't feel like we're breaking all the way, you know. And I definitely think Toei's gotten a lot better at that. But yeah, really, really good stuff overall. So I guess MVP of this episode, because why not? Let's make that a thing. Well, the MVP of this episode was Chopper, because I really liked him geeking out over the tank. And the thing I'm most excited for right now, I probably won't do the, like, thing I'm most excited for right now thing every video, because it's gonna stay the same thing for a while, as I'm sure you'll learn, and that's Yamato. There's a specific moment with Yamato where he gets, like, fully introduced in the manga, and I'm really looking forward to seeing that animated. It's not too far away now. I don't know exactly how many episodes it's going to take to get there, but we'll get there within a month or two at the very latest. It's very soon, assuming no hiatuses or anything. Who knows? The Olympics, am I right? Yeah, good episode. I said this wasn't going to go on as long as my Vanguard Overdress stuff, but I guess it did. So yeah, that was my One Piece 984. Yeah, 984. Again, there's so many episodes it's difficult to, like, remember off the top of my head the episode number, huh? That was my One Piece 984 episode review, discussion, whatever it is you want to call it. It's more so a discussion than a review. But yeah, I was a big fan. See you later with more One Piece videos on this channel. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Tell me what you thought of the episode. All that other stuff below. And also subscribe to my main channel. My main channel is focused on Carbide Vanguard. The secondary channel is focused on One Piece. We're just starting off this channel just for the sake of it, just uploading whatever it is I feel like to do with One Piece, because I love One Piece. Obviously, I don't expect this channel to get particularly big or really garner much of a following, but I love One Piece and I like talking about it. And whilst there's already, like, you know, there's already a lot of YouTubers to watch when it comes to One Piece, so I don't exactly expect to be filling any gaps that are needed. I just like talking about One Piece, so I'm making these videos anyway. So I'll see you later with some more videos, maybe a chapter review. when we get one on Friday, I believe. Maybe, we'll see. Or just a miscellaneous video about whatever it is I feel like talking about to do with One Piece. So I'll see you later with some more videos. And remember, for every statement, there's always an asterisk. I'll see you later.